Hello, everyone. My name is Wilka Nascimento. I am the Leadership Talks host. And today I have David Aucoin here with us. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Wilka. Hi, everyone.
So I have here that you are currently an owner of a few hotels in Canada. Is that correct, David?
Correct, yes.
Okay. How many do you have under your belts? Do you want to share with us?
We have the Comfort Hotel in Niagara Falls, which is our largest asset at 132 units. And it's right on actually Stanley Avenue. And we currently reposition that asset in October 5th of just last year. Through COVID, we made some really big decisions, and we bought the Comfort Inn in Huntsville, which lasted through COVID, thank goodness. And we're very obviously proud about that asset. And then we have Owen Sound, and that's also the Comfort Inn. So obviously we're Choice Hotel champions. And that has 59 rooms. And I don't know if I've just told you, Huntsville has about 70 rooms at that location.
Excellent. Quite a handful of hotels. So my question is, David, how did you actually started in this journey of, hotel ownership?
Sorry, drinking some tea. I just got over a cold.
Oh my gosh, this mug is awesome.
So, it's been a passion of mine for a very, very long time. I went to when I was 17 years old, was in George Brown College and did the hotel management, which they have one of the largest hotel management programs now in the world at George Brown College there. And at the time I said that if I wasn't successful in 5 years, I would go into a university and get my MBA and get into the hotel business on a higher level. But I guess at the early age of 23, I became a director of sales already. It was quite quick. And I fell absolutely in love with it. And my vision and my passion was to save as much money as I possibly could and become a president of a company. And here I am today.
Fantastic. Wow. When I was 23, I think I was still transitioning from front desk to sales. And you were like 23 DOS already. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, but I really have to give thanks to the Sheridan Parkway, Toronto North. I started there when I was around, I think it was about 19 years old or 20, and it was 441 rooms with the Sheridan combined with the Best Western. And I grew pretty quickly from reservations to business sales coordinator to sales coordinator to director's assistant to do all the sales and marketing. And to do those kind of platforms at a high level into a luxury and mid-scale brand was like a really great stepping stone into high level kind of entrepreneurship, because you had to know what marketing had to go to, and I would market the restaurant, do special packages, help out the sales managers with all their sales and learn how they close stuff. And I was a sponge, and I just really got all my learning skills from larger big hotels, and then went off to smaller ones and really excelled because the workload was nowhere near of my 14-hour to 15-hour days at the Sheridan. So
Wow, that's a great story. Actually, I must say, give you guys, the credit, because a huge hotel, I actually worked as well in a similar story here in Baltimore, in a Sheraton that was at 800 rooms. And I was just like, oh my God, this was so much for me at the time. And, also huge shout out to Gijo Alapat. He was one of the leaders that I look up to, and having that experience shared with me on a day-to-day basis was amazing, tremendous. So right now, what do you look for your leadership team when you are, hiring GMs, interviewing DOSs? Are you the type of owner that is hands-on, or you're not?
Sorry, sorry to laugh at that, but everybody that knows me knows I'm headlock, very hands-on. I guess just going back for 1 second, Suzanne Marshall is the leadership there at that hotel, and she's been there from this today. She celebrated 36 years as the general manager at that property.
Wow,
Still
that's
to this day,
amazing.
it's unbelievable. So still to this day, I will visit and pay my respects to that hotel, and it's just something in my belly that I will take me for a lifetime. And I guess now back to your question of the leadership, is that loyalty is how do you find somebody like that general manager on a leadership role to stay that long, and that in that it's unheard of. So for leadership to me is that I still like to treat myself as an employee and never have lost those roots. So I'm still, the leader of our hotels, and approvals will come to me, or large situation and ordering and everything else like that. Excuse me, I'd like to handle those, to take off a little bit of the operations from our general managers to focus on service. But finding someone that can mirror you and to put yourself into them, as I've always tried to like mirror ownership or director sales or general managers myself in a keen disposition. That's kind of what I look for in leadership. And for instance, in Niagara Falls, I went through 3 general managers to find the exact recipe I was looking for. The first one, unfortunately, left to Bulgaria. Emily, I love you if you're watching this. She left due to COVID, and couldn't take this dictatorship from being locked down for 2 years in Canada. And the next ones were just more not up to what the expectation was, and trying to more hire other people to do the work other than them doing it. And then also the last one was great in projects, but the culture, she was affecting the culture of the hotel, which is a is a big no-no for me. People need to care and love each other, and get it from the actual leadership. And that's my responsibility, because if I let that go, then that means I don't care about people and the property. And now I have David Way, who's been an amazing contribution, and totally enables FACT, which is our business model, which is friendly, authentic, caring, and thoughtful. So we don't really focus on the person's nationality. We focus on a business trait, and we find that it's better for us to focus on the trait. If they do have kind of which Patch Adams, the movie, I don't know if anybody has watched before, but has excessive happiness. That's who we kind of want in our leadership roles, in our front desk roles, in our maintenance roles, housekeeping, breakfast. We want excessive happiness. And I'm very proud to say that he's done a wonderful job of understanding my keen there's non-negotiations on the environment and the culture of the hotel. Because when we had TripAdvisor, when I bought the hotel, it was 120 out of 124, which is dead last and had the worst reputation in its class.
So where is the hotel now? What is the ranking?
It's 27 out of
Wow.
126.
Wow, good job. That's
So,
amazing.
so the market has grown 2 hotels, and we're 27. And I put just yesterday for the team, like a congratulations, because, you know, I think this goes for all owners, all general managers and everything else, is like the performance of what you have to do has to be mirrored to all, like um like TripAdvisor and
Other
LTRs
things
and
as well.
yeah, yeah. So it has to be tracked and there has to be results. And that's where I put the results in, and put the special projects and everything else. But
Oh,
when
yeah.
there's amazing, yeah, and when there's amazing accolades to individuals, I have an incentive program for the whole entire team. If we get perfect, if they mention their name, they get $5. For me personally, as a thank you to going that extra mile. And some people have even made $50 to $60 in 1 month. I don't stop it. I think that's, you know, a small piece of my appreciation to say thank you.
Yeah, that's
It is hard
amazing.
work. It is hard work. We're not really, you know, we're pretty strict on stuff, but we make the culture amazing for people to love to work for us, though.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of the subjects that I love to talk about here on the Leadership Talks podcast as well. I've had discussions with many GMs and director of sales, and people really, they will stick to you if they feel comfortable in that environment, right? But it's not just about saying it; it's actually executing. So now, David, for people that are interested, what would be your top 3 tips if, let's say, hey, I want to own a hotel. What is the 3 takeaways, from all of your years in experiencing hotel ownership?
Okay, good questions, eh? I'll sip to them. Maybe there's some vodka in here. I don't know. Um, mm,
You can pass.
all right, three takeaways. One thing I have to admit, which I wouldn't say I failed, but I failed to rise to the occasion, and never will look back ever again. But it's pressure. The amount of pressure that's on your shoulders for having your staff, paying your staff, making sure they have hours, to paying enormous amount of bills. I think people that are not owners don't understand the expenses that we do really go through. And when times are tough, you can lose a lot, which we did. And I don't think I handled that pressure very well through COVID. So you really need to have that entrepreneurship, that fire in you to handle the pressure, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. The second thing is you really do need a lot of experience, and it's just not something that you want to go into and say, oh, I can do this, no problem, and I'll just hire this management company and da 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 da, and like it's that easy. um I don't think that's the right attitude to have. I think that you really do need to have a keen sense of 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 real estate, of every level of banking, like accounting, like it's very complex, to understand everything. And the third thing would be, um, really great with people and having empathy, having trust, and not getting like overexcited and upset at people if mistakes do happen. And I think it's more of a mental game, that it is as a business, really. Of course, you need to have the in intuition and the knowledge, to run any business whatsoever. But the hotel business has so many swim lanes of revenue, and if you don't know how those translate into business, and you don't know how to go after that business as a business owner, then how are you going to mentor and teach salespeople, um, general managers or elite people. And I think that you really do need that knowledge. But those would be kind of my three takeaways, and hopefully that's what you're kind of asking for.
Yeah, definitely. It's not that I'm going out there tomorrow and buying hotels, right? If I don't have the experience of being GM, or, manage a couple of assets. But I think you gave, thank you for being vulnerable and humble here, saying that, the pressure and you didn't take that very well during COVID. But I think, that shows, the listeners, people that are listening are watching this, that we are humans, right? Like we do make mistakes. We do sometimes, it's a stepping stone, right? Like you learn, you live, you learn, right? And I think, for we everywhere, everybody saw a lot of really ugly, things happening during COVID. I've experienced myself, but that's another story that we should not
Yeah.
highlight here today. Um,
Yes. Yes.
but I think, like in terms of exactly what you're saying, you have to have that grit, right? To pass it on as well to the staff that is, because you're leading by example, if you like it or not, people looking at you, how you show up at work every day, how you, present yourself, how you give the accolades to, the staff, the team members, and how respectful are you to, that breakfast, person that is there 4 o'clock in the morning to get everything ready for your guests. So I think, that shows a lot of that cultural aspect. But also, I wanted to another quick question, that I think it's important. Like, for example, people have asked me, oh, how did you start in your career? Have you done anything different in your early beginnings, or any outcome that you would change?
That I would change. Um, you know what? God works in mysterious ways, and you can't, you can't, you have to appreciate the hardships, and you have to appreciate your losses, your failures, as because it's your path. So I wouldn't change anything, because I have failed miserably or fallen miserably. I just needed to be picked up. And I have zero regrets. If you have regret, that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. You have to get burnt by fire a little bit to understand not to touch it. But if you keep on touching it, then you're just not built for that. And I really had um, some great mentorships along the way, which I wish I had much earlier in my career. And I think that the knowledge and everything that came from me of my success today and all of our successes of our employees is due to my leadership, that is hopefully one flame that becomes a brush fire to everyone. That's
Wow, that's awesome. Like, because actually when we were talking, and this is one of the fun stories, right? Like I sent you one of the podcasts that I've done before with Wes Santos. And when I
like
invited
him.
you,
I like him. I like him.
oh, I
Yes.
love him. I love him. And he's in Florida now and leading a very successful team. And, it's just that that fire, right? That like that passion for the business, and also incentivizing your team to be the best they can be, because if the sales team, for example, or the housekeeping team are not aligned in communication through the hotel, through an event for, a special group coming in, over the weekend or whatever, it's like you feel the balance, you feel on your scores when people check out, you feel during the stay, right? And then you feel that tension through the team members as well. So,
Yes.
I love that you said that, that you have to show that respect, you have to be incorporated to show that culture, is very important. Did you have any challenges hiring people back, or how did that, movement came from, being locked down and, hotels, did the hotel close and reopen? Can you tell us about that?
Okay. I can talk specifically for Niagara because our other assets were okay.
Right.
And we did have some challenges in Huntsville and a little bit in Owen Sound for retaining and having enough to complete the supply, because you had an influx of reservations like crazy, and then we were, so yes, it was very difficult at a time. But most of our employees in Huntsville and Owen Sound, those are almost 30-year-old properties, so you have a continuity with loyalty. In Niagara Falls, as soon as I bought the hotel, everybody left. I don't want to be with this guy. Who's this guy? It was horrible. And we bought it November the 4th. Talk about luck and talk about passion. We bought the hotel on November the 4th, 2019. December comes, January comes, it's over. And I think I had like maybe 3 employees or 4 employees at the time. And we went through everything that you can imagine. And we bought the largest Motel 6 in all of Canada. And my whole goal was to reposition the asset and renovate the whole thing. And now it's the largest comfort hotel in all of Niagara Falls. And I just have a liking with Choice Hotels. I think they're an amazing brand. I think that their teams and even their CEO, who's Brian Leon, and Graham Marsh, who is the regional director for all of Canada now. I think he just got promoted. Hopefully, Graham, sorry, I don't know what your title is now, but everybody gets promoted. I've been with them for almost 15 to 16 years, maybe longer. And I just feel comfortable, but it was very difficult because they didn't want to give the brand to us. So it took me 2 years to get it. So I renovated during COVID, and the answer to your question, did I shut down the hotel? Yes. I think where leadership is taken to the next level is that I packed my bags and I lived at the hotel for 2 years and came back to see my kids on the weekends. I think that was the hardest decision I've ever made, but it took that to make it, this successful to today. And I think in 2022, that's when everything, was turning around. And in February, I sat down with my general manager and I talked to my business partner, and I said, I'm going to do something crazy, and you're just going to have to have the same vision, and there is no turning back at this point. And my partner's like, what, David, what, like, you're crazy anyway. So tell me what's going on. And I said that I know we don't have any business, but I am approving over hiring, and the hiring starts February. And that's where the game changed, where everyone was thinking about money, their selfish self sometimes, sorry to be that blunt. But I was selfless. I wanted to change the dynamic of our occupancies that hopefully were going to be fulfilled. But when do you do that? And when is it going to come? I had no crystal ball. So starting in February, we overhired and even gave people jobs that we had no occupancies for. I just don't know when it was going to come. So in Niagara, since February the 14th, Valentine's Day, that's when I started to see the change. And hopefully the guy upstairs was looking down at me like, you got this. And we've been sold out every single weekend since February the 14th till now.
Wow.
And every single weekend. And the hotels just couldn't facilitate it. And it got even worse in the summertime. In the summertime, starting in July, we ran 96 to 98% occupancy. and all the rest of the hotels were doing well, they were in the 70 to 80 ranges, because they couldn't facilitate always, and the business always came to us. So it was a great learning experience. And as a leader, you need to make um, outside the box ideas, and go with your gut, because you don't know what's going to happen. And I was just, really sick and tired of, not selling out, not having a consistent hotel. And I needed a team to believe in my vision and make that vision go. And that's why I've taken away my title as president, and my title is a CVO, which is Chief Vision Officer, which I want people to follow my vision, because I don't even think I'm a qualified president CEO anyways. I just want people to follow my vision and my passion of my experiences, because I've been doing this all my life, and for almost 24, I'm on my 24th year now, and I feel like I really got this right. So since how I report to myself, and I'm so hard on myself and to my general managers, the star reports are a big report card for ownership and for operations. TripAdvisor and LTR scores. Those are, and Medallia. Those are the four criterias. And I'm very proud to say that all of our hotels since January of this year until year to date, we've been number one in the star reports for every single one of our markets. So I guess when you're like this, it's not a fluke. It's not, it's you have to have that skill. And we believe that we're doing everything right on the culture for each one of the hotels, the sales business, the sales dispositions, the marketing. And when everything comes together, only success can come out of it. And I guess that's what I'm really passionate, and I'm really passionate about. And I have a really good skill set with that, and a good temperament, and now I can handle the pressure that anything can happen to any one of our hotels, and I know that I can push through it.
Wow, that's amazing, David. I hope the folks that are listening are making notes, because wow, you just went, from 0 to 100. I'm like, yes, thank you. Number one in all markets on the Star Report. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And also for being sold out in Niagara every single weekend. That's phenomenal. But,
Yeah.
maybe in another opportunity, we can talk about, how will you do how the business is coming back now for the weekdays, and how you think, business travelers are coming and so forth. But, for today, I truly appreciate, your thoughts, David. How people can get in touch with you in Canada, or, anywhere throughout the world if they want to reach out.
LinkedIn is a very good forum for everyone. I'm sure you're going to be posting this, and we'll be both posting this on LinkedIn. So David Aucoin on LinkedIn. My email address is davegbc@rogers.com, or you can reach out to any one of the hotels to get a hold of me. And the GBC stands for George Brown College. I never forgot the roots on that. So yeah, like it's anybody's more than welcome. I get a lot of DMs on LinkedIn and stuff like that, and I'm very, very appreciative of following yourself. Actually, I put yourself almost to an ownership as well, with your mindset and your followship that you have right now. You're such exactly what we would be looking for in executive roles. That
I'm
you're
not for sale. I'm not applying for jobs yet. Maybe we can
but
discuss ownership in the future. Maybe I'll give you a couple $1,000s to get, 50% of the
oh yeah,
purchase.
yeah. Keep going, keep
Oh my
going.
God. Thank
No,
you
but
so much.
you're just an amazing person. Okay, I haven't met someone like you in a very long time, and I'm glad that we've crossed paths and you're in my life now. So thank you very, very much. You're very inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much, David. I truly appreciate your kind words, and I think this is just a start, right? And this is one point that I love to share with people all the time, that, the grit and the consistency of, being in touch with folks and being creative, really, like that's how the Leadership Talks podcast came about. You know, it was a challenging time, you know, through pandemic, but I wanted to hear from folks like yourself, you know, like, you know, people in Brazil, anywhere in the world, really. Like the other day, I gave an interview for Mauricio that he's in Prague, and he is Brazilian and expat like myself. So, you know, it's just the world just became so small for all of us. And, you know,
It
hotels,
is.
you know, and the business is just beautiful, and you know, we can share ideas and you know, suggestions and tips and inspire each other, right? Like that's why, you know, I think it's so important to be, you know, present here on LinkedIn, but also in other platforms that will connect you with the world and with folks with the same mindset. So thank you so much, David. It was a pleasure to have you.
Likewise. Thank you so much.